Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining our weekly Communities of Practice Sunday check-in session. My name's Priscilla Wong, and I'm a member of the Communities of Practice team. I hope everyone has had a good week, and I welcome you to all to this half hour of Dharma, reflection, and community connection. I'd especially like to welcome you if it is your first time joining this community. It is great to have you here today. It is customary for us in Australia to begin any meeting by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. I would like to start today by acknowledging the Dharawal people as the traditional owners of the land on which Nantian Institute resides. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all are, and I pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Our volunteer team has been working together since 2012, and in response to COVID-19, we began these weekly check-in sessions in October 2020. The purpose of these events was outlined above, guided by humanistic Buddhism to develop and cultivate our practice and friendships. Now more than ever, the practice has become vital, and the purpose of today is exactly that. I'd now like to introduce my friend, Dr. Jonathan Page, who is a lecturer at Nantian Institute, a medical oncologist, and a valued member of the community to guide this session.
Thanks very much, Priscilla, and a warm welcome to everyone, once again, joining us from each of the 10 directions. So I hope you've enjoyed the week, and I hope it was free of hindrances, or at least able to be managed by you with greater skill and less resignation. They can be of great benefit. The Buddha spoke on nearly 250 occasions about hindrances, as he felt them to be a major difficulty for bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, and householders alike 2,500 years ago, and they're no less important today. So in his Avarana Sutra, where Avarana means veil of ignorance, he adapted the teaching to an audience that included farmers, and he said, the 5 hindrances are encumbrances of the mind that obstruct our path, overcome awareness, and weaken discernment. Suppose, bhikkhunis, there were a river flowing down from the mountains, going far, its current swift, carrying much flotsam. If a person were to open irrigation channels leading off from both sides, the current in the middle of the river would be interrupted, diverted, and dispersed. The river would not go far, its current would not be swift, and it would not carry much flotsam. In the same way, if practitioners have not abandoned these 5 hindrances, the side channels of their minds, then the flow of wisdom will diminish, and there is no possibility that they can know what is for their benefit or the benefit of others. They will not come to realize a superhuman distinction of knowledge and a vision worthy of the noble ones. So I will focus on these 2 hindrances today. Ill will or aversion is often complex and may relate to deeper issues. There may be a desire to punish, hurt, or destroy. There may be a dislike or even hatred for both other people and also oneself. Perhaps a sense of rejection, resentment, or bitterness. There may be some reenactment in the mind of the past. Ill will towards the self can manifest as guilt, shame, criticism, and we may deny ourselves the possibility of happiness. There is a useful simile. The mind is like a bubbling, boiling water. And the solution to this problem always includes the cultivation of loving kindness or metta. Metta arises within a warm, open-hearted, unselfish, non-judgmental feeling of fellowship, concern and love for others and also ourselves. So loving oneself and forgiving oneself is a good place to start. Now we'll move on to restlessness, worry, irritability, agitation and anxiety, which is certainly a major hindrance. An inability to settle physically and mentally. One may fidget, move about, cough and scratch. The mind jumps about, perhaps reviewing and adding things to various lists. There may be feelings of remorse or dissatisfaction with the way things are. There may be an element of avoidance or some other evidence of a deeper issue. A useful simile here is that the mind feels like waves on the surface of the water, being whipped up by a malicious wind. So to overcome this hindrance, be persistent, understand these feelings will pass, practice anapanasati, breathing, focusing on the rhythm of your own breath. Develop a sense of contentment and gratitude. The Buddha recommends giving a special wise attention to those times in your meditation when you are calm and have a still mind, and therefore you will prevent or reduce the risk of future restlessness. Last week we spoke about Bella, and I'll just review some aspects of Bella because this is of great value. Remember to begin this practice with a mindful attention to identify the first signs of hindrance and to avoid overreactivity. And then turn and, if possible, face the hindrance. The B is for being with, letting the hindrance be, although not approving it. Don't engage, step back, give it space. The E is for explore, to learn, to study our relationship with this hindrance. Notice any physical sensations or emotions. You may exclaim, now I see what's happening. The first L is for lessen the intensity. Relax, soften the tension, walk, shower, apply self-compassion. The second L is to let go, but with wisdom, to let go at the right time to avoid an early recurrence. And the final letter, A, appreciate, the lessening of the intensity, the absence of the hindrance, the sweetness, ease, and peace that results. You recognize a new state, perhaps with the loss of an old habit. There is some movement on the path. We feel more confident when we next meet a hindrance. So we enjoy this feeling of acceptance, grace, and equanimity. And hindrances, of course, can become a friend, or at least they prove valuable, as in the phrase, the obstacle is the path. The Buddha himself said, being released from the grip of ill will is like recovering from a serious illness. And freedom from anxiety and worry is like freedom from slavery. So now let's enjoy a short period of reflection and meditation together. So prepare yourself for a short meditation and a period of quietness in your mind. Although, of course, you may enjoy a brief hindrance. One never knows. So gently shut your eyes and let them soften. And just begin to relax. Notice relaxation developing. Relax your forehead and your cheeks and your lips. Relax all the facial muscles. Relax your neck muscles. At this point, you may like to place your open hand gently over your heart. Relax your shoulders and your upper arms. And now the lower arms and your hands, the fingers. Relax your thumbs. Relax your back muscles and let a wave of softness move downwards from the back of the neck all the way down to your bottom. And relax your thighs, and the calf muscles, and now the feet, and finally the toes that you can wiggle gently. So feel the whole body completely relaxed. So now take your attention to the tip of your nose, to the nostrils, and watch the spontaneous rhythm of your wonderful breath. Notice the air moving in through your nostrils, often through one nostril more than the other. Sometimes the air feels cool and sharp, filling the lungs. And when the lungs are full, there is a short pause, and then the air, all by itself, begins to escape through the nostrils. The air now warm and soft. until the lungs are empty. And then there is another pause before the next breath arises all by itself. So let's just watch the rhythm of our own breath in silence for the next minute. So now, when you're ready, you can open your eyes slowly, return to the moment, return to the room. And in the breakout groups, you may wish to talk about any hindrance, but particularly the hindrance of ill will or restlessness. You liberate without actions of self. I like that phrase, and live without abiding. Cultivate without attention. Boy, there's so much wisdom in just a single paragraph. Yeah, well, I guess except that some things don't change, but also everything can change. Both can occur in the one moment. Space to the hindrance is so important to avoid being overwhelmed. I like that, the edges of the ego. And then you get to the edge and then I suppose take a leap. The middle way, yes, that's important. That's vital to recognise the edges, I suppose, so that we're practicing the middle way between the extremes. Yeah, so anger can be both, can't it? A barrier and also a source of great education and self-knowledge and knowledge about the world. It's more than a single word. Yes, well, thank you, everybody. Just continue to respond and add your wisdom, thoughts, suggestions, and we'll check out of this session with Priscilla.
Thank you, Jonathan. We hope the check-in today was helpful to you and that you experienced the loving kindness of this community as it is offered here today. For anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what we could meet, or just if you have any feedback at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us on the email above. As usual, a couple of announcements. Dr. Lewis Lancaster, who is an emeritus professor of Buddhism, is running a lecture series on Buddhism as a lived experience. The next session will be on wisdom, self-knowledge transformed, on April 20, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So if you Google Institute for the Study of Humanistic Buddhism, you'll find registration details there, or you can send me an email and I'll send you the link. Next week, our friends Jade and Alex, who are long-standing communities of practice friends and facilitators, will be presenting on disruptive technology at this time. So there'll be no usual Sunday check-in session.
Yeah, so we're actually here at the Nantian Institute today with Venerable and the team going over this presentation. And this presentation has been a long time in the making. It was back in 2019 that we presented on a similar topic about, internet use and the role that internet plays in our lives today across different age groups. And this presentation is really the culmination of a 3-year journey since then that Jade and I have been on, engaging with, different community groups and researching some of the effects that social media is beginning to have on our collective mental health and our collective well-being. So yeah, next week, we please encourage everyone to sign up for this. We guarantee it's not going to be, a boring workshop. It's an exciting workshop. And so, there'll also be a chance for people to participate and to share their own experiences and to discuss how technology is affecting them in their own lives, both positive and negative. We encourage everyone to please come along. Did you have anything to add, Jed?
That was a pretty good summary. I mean, we have several aims during the presentation, but one of them is to give a basic understanding of the operating concepts that underlie social media, some of its history, some of the ways in which we're receptive to its influence, and also some of the negative effects of social media, particularly on how we think, feel, and behave. It's not going to be entirely sort of a show where we bash social media, but we do need to acknowledge its downsides so as to avoid a stubborn refusal of them. But we hope that this particular session is something that will give you moments of reflection and hopefully walk away with ways in which to improve your relationship to your phone and maybe even one another.
Just beautiful.
Thank you, Alex and Jade. We're really looking forward to it. So you can register at communities.nantian.edu.au, and it will be a different link to the one we use every Sunday. So we'll just check out now together for the session.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
Thank you, everyone. So that concludes our Sunday check-in session for this week. So we won't be doing the check-in session next week. Jonathan will be back on Anzac Day, the 25th of April, at 11 a.m. as per usual on the next part of the Hindrances. And if you have time, what we do after these sessions is to have an informal community chat. So we'll be unmuting shortly, and everyone that's able, just hang around and say hello. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week, hopefully on the 18th, otherwise on the 25th. Thanks for joining us today.